Welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to get all these tools in front of you here up on the wall. I'm sick of these tools just being sort of laying around my workshop, and I'm really excited for them to have their own spot. So I'm thinking of building something like this. Okay, so what I've actually done here is I've laid all my power tools out on the concrete and spaced them out. I've then put some masking tape across the whole run, and then I've put some masking tape between each tool where I sort of want my shelf to go. Now I'm going to use this pine here. This is 140 millimeters by 19 millimeters to make this shelf. I've got two lengths of 3 meters and just a little like 1200 mil length there. That should be enough timber here to build the whole shelf. It's always important to clean up one end. Whenever you get timber, you know, whether it's from Bunnings or from a timber yard, there's always one rough edge. So you've got to clean that side up first before you hang your tape over it. Otherwise, it's not really going to be a square edge. Once you get that square edge, you can then hang your tape over and make your measurement. I've got to now cut those boards to make the whole overall shelf height 400. Now I need 9 of these vertical parts for my shelf. I'm actually out of timber. I've got this piece here, and if I rip that down to 140, and then I should be able to actually get 4 out of this. So I might try and do that now. Okay, I've actually made all my cuts. So these are going to be my 2 long boards. These are both cut to 2400. I've got my 9 boards here that are going to go sort of in between to make 10 separate compartments for this shelf. So what I'm going to actually do now is mark on these boards and then rebate all of it, including the ends. And then I can go ahead and glue and nail the whole thing together. And then we'll basically be ready to mount it to the wall and start putting some tools in it. I'm just going to put an X on that side of the line that I want to do my rebate. I can go ahead now and mark them all out. Unfortunately, these boards aren't dead straight. You can see that big nasty gap down the center. And then, you know, we've got a nice tight finish down this end, nice tight finish down the other end. And we've got that big gap in the middle. That's timber. Nothing you can do about it. It's just how it goes, really. I've got the jig set up. I've just ripped a little piece at about 50 millimeters. I'm just going to stick that between the back here where my board is, just so it's a nice tight fit in here. So what you're going to do, you're going to feed the board in, and you're going to feed it in until the end of the board lines up with that slot that I just routed. That's perfect there. I'm now going to clamp it down. Now, one thing I didn't mention, whenever you route all the way through a board of timber, you risk, see if I can draw this, you risk chipping out this section here of the timber if I was to route right through. So generally what I try and do is I actually come back this way first, and I'll just take like a little half circle off that edge. I'll then wait till the router turns off, I'll lift it up and I'll come this way, and then I'll route all the way through. And if you start that little bit there first, you prevent any blowout. Now all we have to do, undo the clamps and just keep sliding it through to make our whole 8 lines of routes. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I've done my 9 slots. Look, I spent probably too long today making this jig up. I probably spent about 2 hours making the jig and about 10 minutes to route all these holes. So it's sort of one of those things where, like, is it worth it? And I can tell you right now it is worth it. There's an old saying that a guy I used to work with used to say, and it was spend more time on the jig and less time on the gig. And that sort of always resonated with me. So, you know, at the workshop I work in, there's jigs all over the place, hanging up on the walls, in cupboards and doors and stuff like that. And there's those times when you just really need to do a particular job, and you can just pull one of those jigs out and you can use it, and it's just a 5-minute job. It might take an hour to make the thing, but then it saves time down the track. That's the 2 boards done. And as you can see, they are perfectly in line. So the next job is to basically mark the backside where we're actually going to nail these. So we're going to tip it up on its end. I'm just going to eyeball and mark right in the center of the joint. And then going to square that line up to the top edge. And then I'm going to flip it over and square that line across the back edge. Put a bit of glue. When using a nail gun, you generally want to hold the nail gun in this direction like this, opposed to this way. And the reason for that is when you're shooting a nail out of a nail gun, generally it likes to skew or move off in a direction. And if I was shooting down my nail this way, there's more of a chance of my nail going through and then twisting out and actually shooting at the side or blowing at the side of my board. Whereas if I shoot it this way, if it does twist or go sideways, it's still going to go into where I actually want the nail to go, into the board. A little bit of squeeze out of glue is pretty much what you're going for. If you don't have any glue squeezing out, you probably didn't put enough in. Okay, so the next step will be just checking whether this is square. So one easy way of doing this is hanging your tape over one corner and coming over to the other corner diagonally. And I've got 2434. And if I hang it over and do the other corner, got 2433, 1 millimeter. I'm not going to worry too much about 1 millimeter. That means it's got to go half a mil one way, and that's fine for what I'm doing. So if it was long one way, what you would have one diagonal corner that's longer. That just means you sort of have to try and stretch it back the other way. Sometimes you can do that using really long clamps. You can sometimes do it using your own force, just pushing on that long side. And I've also used ratchet straps to do that as well. But in this case, being 1 millimeter, I'm not going to do anything. Just got some of this pine colored wood filler. I love this stuff. Just fill a few of these holes up just because. I don't need to do this, but I don't mind doing it. It's got to leave a little bit more on top than you need. This dries really, really close to the color of the wood, so really can't see where these holes are. Okay, putty's dry, we're now going to sand it off. So I'm actually going to fix a couple blocks in a few places. At the back, I'm actually going to cut them in so they fit inside the shelves and nail them down through the top and through the sides. And then we're actually going to screw through these into the wall, and that should hold it up. Now just going to put a 5 mil clearance hole in a couple of these spots. Just going in with some 40 mil chip screws, and I've got, I'm going through 19 mil pine into, I think it was 18 millimeters. So 40 mil screws should be enough. Now, so you can see this laser line here. This is actually the mark on the wall where I want the bottom of the shelf to be. And I've set the laser up, as you can see, going right through that. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you got something out of it. I'm just really happy with how this turned out, and I'm happy that these tools all have their own home now, and I can't wait to do it to the rest of the shed. So I've still got a little bit of work to do. I've still got to play around with a way to get to get these drills in here properly. I've seen a few people online make up these little hooks that they can sort of all sit in upside down or even like that, but I'll do that in the future. I also want to mount this somewhere under here, so I can have all my batteries charging here and then all my batteries sitting on this bottom shelf while the drills are up above it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want, and I'll see you in the workshop next time. Cheers.